thing. Oh, I forgot the computer.
Oh, right. What do we use that for? Oh, so you can chat to people.
First live of 2025, question mark, exclamation point. Good
It's
morning,
accurate.
hello. All right, we're good.
Okay.
All right, start talking to the people. I'm going to go get the computer. We missed you guys. It's been a while. We haven't done this in a while, so we're going to be rusty.
Do we need the computer? Can we just do it next time?
Well, I can't see if they
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
if they ask questions
Got it.
on YouTube. I can't see them.
It. I understand.
So how about, do you want to just, what do you want to talk about while I run away?
I'll wing it.
I'll wing it. All right. Well, good luck.
Thanks. You won't be too long. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the internet. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a long time. So the holidays were good. I hope you guys had a good holiday too. We got the orders out. Everybody, definitely got everything before Christmas, which is awesome. We had our first order week. I'm sure Nick's going to want to talk about this again, but we had our first order week, which was the first week of January. And so we, for, I want to say the last 6 months, went from doing order weeks the first week of every month to being open all the time as an experiment to see, would that bring in more orders? Would it not? And how would it affect us? How would it affect you guys? And pretty much it made things a lot harder for us and didn't seem to affect sales right? I'm talking about order weeks.
Okay.
And how we have officially switched back to order week.
Oh, yes. It's honestly, it's just so much easier for us.
It's
for planning and...
Yeah, and for production.
Yes.
For me, once we have all the orders in at the end of that first week of every month, we can look at it, we can group designs, colors together. We have 2 machines, so I can do 2 different colors at the same time, but I can't do any more than that.
It was putting us back, I would say at least 2 weeks.
That's what I was going to say.
Based on, as things were coming in. Mm-hmm. And it seems like it wouldn't, but it just does.
It does.
And it was really frustrating because I knew the whole holiday season, I'm like, we could have been here. We could have been here based on what was actually ordered.
Yeah.
And we probably could have gotten more out that happened even after the holiday deadline, which we sometimes are able to do.
Yeah.
But we weren't this year. It was really tight.
Yeah. It just, having order week just makes things so much easier. It's also so much easier for Nick as far as ordering materials goes. And that's what we had always said from the beginning when we decided to do it. But, people did complain, they miss order weeks and that sort of thing. And then they wouldn't get to put their order in and have to wait a month.
Yeah.
And I get it, but if it's not working for us, it's not going to work for you guys. So that's just the reality of the situation. So we are back to order weeks. It will continue to be the first week of every month.
Yeah. So it's very slight difference. We just had the first one in January, and it's on the 7th. So we were doing them to the 8th for some reason last year, and now it's actually the 7th, so 7 days.
Yep. And yeah.
Is that all you talked about?
That's all I talked about.
Okay. We sent out a newsletter not that long ago about all the kind of things that are happening. We talked about the 2 designs that we discontinued, the opposite of what's coming.
Right.
So we decided that the Mini Shelby and the Mini Luna were going to be discontinued starting January 1st. Getting lots of text messages.
Yes. It's the mom's group. They're notorious for that. Yes. So to talk about the both of those
and
designs.
Then some mill designs also went away.
Yeah. So to talk about the Mini Luna and the Mini Shelby for just a minute, the Mini Luna I just felt was kind of we kind of already have that filled with other bags, specifically not necessarily the design, but the general amount you could carry in it, that sort of things. It just seemed like it didn't necessarily fill a hole, if that makes sense, in the collection. And then the Mini Shelby, I want to redesign. So you can say she's going away, but she's going to be coming back hopefully in a new and better form. There were just some decent changes that I wanted to make to it. So we'll see how those go. I'm going to hopefully be working on them in the near future. So.
Do you think, in your mind, are there enough changes that it would be called something different?
Potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. But I would say that like we will get a bucket bag back in the collection. It's going to be a different version. Yeah. All right. What else?
We're making some slight changes to a couple designs, including the mini Chloe and
Oh, right. Right.
What else? The interior pockets. So we have a new interior pocket for the bags that have interior pockets.
Should we talk about that really quick?
Yeah, we'll talk about it when we talk about the new design.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's going to be a little bit different than that, but it'll still give the idea.
Well, I can show it. Yeah, ready to go. Basically.
And then
I see.
What else?
Yeah.
Was there one more thing?
Didn't you write it down? Is there a little list over here?
No, I'm winging that part. It's just never good.
One more thing about the bag updates. Is that what you're saying?
I think so. I thought there were 3.
I don't know.
We're gonna anyway. So right now for production, we're working on some of the orders that were placed after the holiday deadline,
right.
and also on the January orders that you guys just placed.
Yep.
Coming up at the end of January, we're hoping to get the bag that Leanne's working on right now.
Yes.
Launched as a pre-order. So we'll see. She's working on the 3rd iteration of it right now.
And I will have to do a 4th.
Oh, 4th. That's never happened.
I know.
Before.
It's a big bag.
It is large.
And I really wanted it to be able to do certain things. And so with that being said, yeah, we were just having to do a lot more experimentation than I had anticipated, but I mean, that's the nature
How
of
it
the
goes
beast.
sometimes.
Yeah.
I think the larger the bag is, for whatever reason, even if it's simple, it could be, I don't know what it is. It takes more. Like it
takes more energy out of me, I think, a little bit. Like doing a small bag is for sure easier, even just alone on the sewing machine or on the burnisher.
I think the smaller the bag, the less kind of questions you have about the scale of things, because sometimes you're trying to fill space in some sense with the larger bags, like visually.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can kind of question yourself on some of your decisions based on trying to make it look appropriate, I guess.
Yeah, and part of it too, I think, is also I'm a small person, and so putting a really big bag on me is like, whoa, that seems huge, but like on an average height human being, it might be totally normal. So I think that probably has a little bit to do with it as well, but yeah.
And then also, we just posted the red milled collection under spring 2025 pre-orders.
Yeah.
So we had, if you remember last year, I think it was last February
I believe
or January.
When it started.
We did red, and then we're doing it for a one-time shot again this year.
Spring, yeah. So you guys love the red. I love the red. It's obvious. So yeah, we're bringing it back for spring. It's posted up on the website right now under Spring 2025 pre-order.
Yeah.
So if you want to be notified as soon as your bag in red is available to order, just go on the website, sign up to be notified when it's back in stock.
So like last year, we'll have 10 of each design.
Right.
They'll be up for a week of their pre-order, and then that's it.
Yep.
I think this year, almost every week has 2 bags in it, if I am correct. The schedule's on the product pages.
Yeah, yeah.
And I also have a blog post with information there too, and some of the images from last year.
Yeah.
There are still some pictures we need to get up on the site for
the newer bags.
For the Maves.
Yeah, that haven't been available
I
in red
put
before.
2 more up the other day. Is that everything?
Did that.
Red milled. And then after milled will come bridal, red bridal.
Right. Right.
I think that's it.
And then we've talked about.
Well, this will be the first time red will be available for the Boda and for any of the Maves.
Yep.
And then also the milled Maeve crossbody is a new design as well.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It's a lot. We're doing too much again.
As usual.
We promised
We
last
talked
year
about
we weren't
another
going to do
color,
that.
too.
We did, but we're not
We're not ready to talk about
no.
that? All right.
I'm not ready. My
I'm
brain will
already
explode.
thinking about photo shoots for it, so.
What color are you thinking?
You want me to say the color?
Well, like, what color family?
Yellow.
Yeah, probably.
That's where my brain's at. We'll see.
Yeah. Do you want to, and then not every design will be available in red, just as a blanket statement. Do you want to talk about your new design bag that you're doing right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Before we get to that, there was one little thing I wanted to chat about. You guys may have seen videos about it on our Instagram. So all of the time when I'm working, I'm always thinking about like, what can I update? What can I change to make this better? Always, that's constantly a thing. And one thing that has always kind of been something that has especially bugged Nick, and then once we actually got rid of it, I realized how much it actually bothered me, is seeing the presser foot marks when we sew on the sewing machine.
Yeah.
So we did a bunch of experimentation.
It was pretty fun.
It was fun, and we've done it. I think
we did it.
We did it. We've figured out how, for us, best way for us to get those presser feet to not show up in our leather, and it's awesome.
So for the sewing machine people, we had taken the pressure off of our tension rod on the top of the machine as far as we could. When we loosened it any further, we were getting flags in the stitching. So the options at that point were to undo the tension rod, cut the spring in the top so that it created total less tension, so you could do a little bit more, dial it in a little bit more there.
Right.
Or try to figure out how to reduce the tension on the bottom, which is the presser feet.
Right.
So we ended up...
So for a while, I was like rubber cementing little bits of leather to the bottom of the presser foot. Then
which works for a time.
Yeah, and then I was duct taping them on because they were coming off so quickly. Again, works for a bit of a time. And then I said to Nick, I was like, I just wish like I could just like dip this into like rubber or something. And he was like, I'm pretty sure they make that for tools.
For like tool dip.
Yeah. And I was like, well, can we get some and just like try it? Especially if you can take it off. It just like if it's, we looked up like how much does a new presser foot cost to make sure like if I screwed it up, we could afford to get a new one. They're not too much money, so didn't screw it up. But anyways, so we have a video on our Instagram about how we did it. We basically did two different things. We took the presser foot and dipped it in this special, what is it called?
The outside foot. In a product called Plasti Dip.
Yeah, so we use a
rubberized plastic.
We use a zipper foot on our machine.
Best hack of 2025.
Yeah, honestly, to just not see those marks is just, I didn't realize like how much it would change how nice the bags look. Yeah. So the outside zipper foot we dipped in Plasti Dip. I think we ended up doing
4 times? 3?
I think it was 3 dips.
3 dips.
Because you like dip it once, let it dry, dip it again, and then we shaved off the very inside so that it wasn't rubbing up against the other foot.
Right.
Then Nick took off the other foot, the inside foot, and
sanded it and polished it down.
Like a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
So not like a ton, but like enough that it made a pretty big difference. And I kind of think if the Plasti Dip falls off, which it probably will like a longer period of time. It hasn't
maybe
yet,
like 6,
which is
7
pretty
months.
good.
I know.
Better than the leather ever did.
Yeah.
I'll probably end up sanding and polishing that
and see where we
seeing
are.
where we are with that.
Yeah.
I've seen other presser feet that are just so wide and like round on the bottom.
That they like disperse the pressure.
Yeah, it disperses the pressure. There's no hard edge for it to
make that line. Yeah.
And to be honest, when I took them off, I was like, this isn't going to do anything.
That's what I thought.
Because it didn't seem like it was
That
any
is
hard edges anyway.
exactly what I thought. I was like,
But
these are already rounded. It's not
she's
going to
like,
make
"This
them a
guy is
difference.
ridiculous."
But try it, you know, because someone has adjusted it on here.
Yeah.
Some people got very
They have a lot of opinions.
opinionated about the best way to do
How
it.
wrong we were.
Yeah, which is always fun. But we took that one suggestion, did that to the inside foot, and then plasti dipped the outside foot, and it is looking good.
Yeah, it's
like,
awesome.
No marks.
I'm really happy with how
Yeah.
it turned out.
Would you work with me to create a unique bag? So you can always reach out to us. We don't typically do custom work though, so I'm not sure like.
So the short answer is no.
Yeah.
She's trying to be nice.
Yes.
So, and not that we're trying to be mean, but like we don't create custom work for others.
There's only 2 of us,
Yeah.
and we, you know, obviously have our line that we have to create for, and don't have tons of time.
We're not set up for like custom one-off
Yeah.
situations.
Yep.
But thanks for the question.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
That's all right. Talking about feet, and then we're
Talking about feet.
talking about.
Over here.
I've always used a belt sander to round over the harsh edges of leather presser feet.
Yes.
Do your patterns ever go back
so
on sale?
Yeah, the pattern should be back up. I accidentally took them down
Oh.
with everything else,
Oh.
but they should be back. That's been in my brain to get like 3 patterns out this year.
Yeah.
Sorry, back to the machine. So when we got our other second Cobra, I should have just thought of it then because I basically sanded down parts of it.
Yeah, you did.
And ground down like the throat plate and all those other bits to make it match the other one.
Yeah.
And
Because
then I reground the other one.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, you know, when they're machined, they're not machined to your specs. So I basically did that. I should have just done the presser feed at that time, but didn't think about
Yeah,
it.
it just didn't dawn on us.
But yeah, a belt sander would definitely help in
Yeah.
that situation.
Yeah.
Uh,
So the patterns should be up if you're looking to order those. And like Nick said, we really do want to get like 2 or 3 more out this year if possible. It's just, it's always a difficult thing because we're always trying to think about the
do other stuff.
collection. Yeah.
So it takes sit at the computer time that
Right.
is like
Yeah.
just
It's just
part
a
of
tricky
it.
thing. Yeah. Okay. Are we ready to talk about the new bag?
Yeah, go get it.
Okay. We got.
If you missed it, we put a little charm up on the site called the penny charm after the poodle.
Oh yeah.
She's napping right now,
Thank
which
God.
is great because she was a little terror earlier.
Okay.
Just running around getting crazy.
So as I stated, there have been many iterations. So I'm going to start with the first one. I'll talk about the changes I made in the second one, and I'll talk about the changes I'm going to be making to the third. So here's the first one. Just understand this is not the final bag. It will be changing. This is her. Now,
It's a pretty big reveal.
it's a big bag. Please keep in mind I am very short. But yeah, you put it on. So the idea with the bag was I wanted it to be, okay, I wanted it to be a bigger,
I'm a normal size human.
a bigger shoulder bag that you could fit a laptop in. I know. Now listen, I'm not gonna call it a laptop bag. It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
But I wanted to have a professional bag that you felt good in, that you could bring to the office, that felt so cool, felt like us, felt like it gave a shape and structure that you could put a smaller laptop in.
I think the only bag we had until that
Was
the Luna, which
And
was
I
very,
would say,
very toady.
sorry, I would say that the Luna is a more casual bag. I'm gonna grab it just so we can talk about that really fast. So this one is quite used because this is my personal Luna bag, but so this is the Luna. So yeah, you'd obviously put the laptop in vertically. But yeah, so I wanted something, and obviously like this is very representational shape-wise of the Maves. I also wanted this to be a convertible bag so that like these wings can actually pop in, and there's a clip on the inside to clip them in. Now, when I did the gusset this way, I thought it would still be easy to pop the wings in, and it's really not as easy as I had hoped. And so generally after we designed it and tried it on, there's a couple issues. One, the gussets weren't working the way that I wanted them to. I love the idea of them being popped out, but them being popped in is really pretty. It's just like impossible. Like, it's not impossible, I can do it, but I don't want anyone to struggle as much as I did trying to get them in. So redoing the gussets to try a different way of making that happen. Sorry, I feel like I missed something. Okay. Yeah, so we're trying a different style gusset to see if I can still make that happen. Then where the lid lands, especially once it's on, it just like points up and it feels too high. Kind of feels kind of like a little goofy to me. So I wanted to bring the lid down a little bit. Again, different style gusset. Also felt like this was quite wide on the bottom, so I brought that in just a little bit. And then the other big thing that we're still kind of working out at this point is the closure. Especially because this bag is going to potentially hold a laptop. I want to make sure that that thing is not going to pop open on anybody. And right now, she really wants to. Okay. So we are playing with a different closure. Trying to think if there's anything else.
Someone just asked about the digital patterns again. It says 2 of the 3 are sold out. So I just fixed it. I guess I just fixed the one last time. Now all 3 are available.
Yeah. So I would love to hear on here your guys' initial thoughts of the first one. If it's something that you're like excited about. I've just been staring at it so long that it's always nice to hear anybody else's thoughts and opinions on it.
She doesn't want to hear mine anymore.
Also true. You're also not the target customer, so.
I'm not. Gorgeous bag. See what else you missed. Are there 6 feet on the bottom?
Yes. No, there's 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 feet. Yes. Okay. So now I will show you the second iteration of the bag. All right. So, and the other thing was with that first one, the body of the bag needed to come up, I believe, is it 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch taller to fit a laptop. So that was the other big change. Okay. So now here she is after I made some changes. So you can see we brought the lid down further so it wasn't up so high and wasn't like kind of pointing up when you wore it. I made the body of the bag a bit taller, but I also brought the gusset in just a bit. Now in doing that, it actually made the bag even taller than I had initially imagined it to be.
Yep.
So I really wanted, even when the wings were folded in, that it still felt kind of rectangular. But to me, it got so high that it kind of lost that rectangular feel. And then when I changed the gusset style, which you can see here, so these can still come out, and that is still the plan. But there are some things I need to change. So like I need to give more room here so that it can, those wings can pop out and still work effectively. And then it needed to be wider on the inside. So I'm making the bag 1 inch wider than you see there, meaning this way it'll get 1 inch.
Go back, do it again.
Oh, sorry. This way it'll get 1 inch wider because it just we couldn't fit the laptop in because of the style of gusset and the way it was sewn. So the other big thing I realized is, so on the pattern, because I moved the lid down and where the straps come out, I just did the same exact thing on the back thinking like, oh, that makes sense. But once I did it, I was like, oh, it kind of looks funny. And then the other thing is, if you're going to use the bag and you go to open it up, oh no, all your things fall out. So not great. So I'm moving on the back of the bag, I'm moving the handle strap up back to where it was so that that no longer becomes an issue. The closure definitely works better on this now, but it's still not giving me the confidence that I want that this thing's not going to pop open once it has a laptop in it. So again, we're playing with the closure. Okay, we're going to talk about the inside. So,
Sorry, our heater just kicked on. So.
oh yeah, it's getting a little loud. So you can see the inside is lined with milled, and now you get to see our new pocket.
Gusset in looks cleaner than out, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree.
I agree, and
I think the intention is it's mostly to be worn that way.
Yeah.
But it has the option.
it has
to
the
go out
option
the
if
way.
you prefer the look of the wings out. That's my intention. Is I really want it to be kind of customizable to the person.
Yeah.
If you like those wings out and you're like more, in my mind, I would say you're more like taking a risk in your fashion, you would want those wings out. Or if you just need literally more room in your bag, you can pop the wings out.
Well, and this was a thought you had way back from the Boweries.
Yes. Yeah.
Because initially, when you were doing some designs with that, you had one with the wings out.
Yeah, I did.
Or tried to have it so it could go in and out.
Yeah. And I liked that idea. I love the idea of making things that can be a little more customizable to the wearer. So the idea is still for those wings to be able to come out if you want them to. So you can see that, whoops, I'm stuck on something. There we go.
Here.
That, yeah, can you hold it for me?
Got it.
Thank you. You can see that there's this awesome little clip that's going to cinch those gussets in for you, which is just a little trigger clip easily, and then you'll be able to pop your wings out. No, someone doesn't.
Oh, wait, that's
oh,
our
wait,
thumbs.
Did you do that?
Sorry. I forgot that happens.
Let's see if we can fix it.
Is it? It's not having it.
No, doesn't want it. It says no. So yeah, so then the idea would be that you can then pop the wings out and wear it this way if you prefer. You can also see our new pocket. So I don't have a cell phone right now to show you because we're using them.
The question is,
But
so I know this is like this, but the other ones in the design, the current designs won't have pencil parts, right?
some of them won't.
Some of them won't.
Yeah, because they're too small.
Because they're yeah. Because the goal is to be able to fit your phone in there.
Yeah, so I
comfortably.
felt like, let me see,
So,
can I show?
And that's made out of milled, if you can see.
Yeah. So
We've
this,
been doing a lot of like the lining, like the milled on the inside,
yeah.
instead of bridal.
So this is our larger Bowery bag. And you can see the interior pocket on that. It has a little card holder and a zipper pocket. Now, my personal feeling is I don't feel like I would ever use that zipper pocket because it's clunky. It's not clunky,
It's not as user-friendly as it could be.
it's just not as fast. I think that's really what it comes down to. Like, honestly, when I'm out and about and like, especially if you have a kid, like you just want to be able to throw your stuff in there and be able to then grab it quickly again when you need it. So,
If possible, I would love to visit your studio and learn at least for a day. I'd help around. So our studio isn't open to the public. That's why we do like these lives and stuff. But we do get
Yeah.
that question all the time.
we do. And if we ever get out of our current studio space and into another one, that's something that we would love to offer to people. But yeah, our current situation doesn't allow it really.
Do you ever combine leather types? Could the wings be more pliable leather than the body? So that's definitely something we thought about.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but when I made this, I also thought about the lid, like the body being
Nice black wing.
bridal and the lid
Pencil.
being milled, which is something, I don't know why I kept picturing it that way.
I don't know about that.
But yeah, I totally agree with you, and that is a potential option.
Do that many people carry writing instruments any longer? I mean,
Calling, what was the
like
question?
like a pencil.
Oh, got it.
I mean, I think so. Especially for like a professional style bag.
Yeah, I mean, so we typically will have like a sketchbook with us.
Yeah, that's true.
So I
Actually,
I
went
don't know
pencil
how.
shopping myself the other day.
she did.
Not,
So yeah, I don't know how like
not nerdy at all.
necessary the pencil or pen holders are, but it's something that I'm going to be putting into any of the interior pockets that are wide enough to handle them.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. I know what you mean. It's the same situation with my facility as well. I have more.
So I have a more official building.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Yes, I definitely carry pens for work.
Okay.
That would be the perfect work bag. Yeah,
That's what I wanted
Yeah.
it to be. So that's great to hear that. Yeah, so the idea would be, I just want it to be easy for people to just throw their phone, throw their pens into those slots really easily and be able to then grab them really easily. Right now, in the other bags, for you to get your phone, you have to unzip and like shove your hand in that pocket, and it's just two pieces of leather together, which is a bit tight. And so that was why we decided to go with the milled pocket on the inside, because it's softer, it's easier, and more pliable to get your phone in and out. And then, yeah, any bags that I can fit both the phone pocket and the pen or pencil holders will have both.
I just love the option for the pen holder.
Yeah,
Yes, I need a
awesome.
pen pocket. So this
Awesome.
is a 15-year-old plus pencil that I've had.
You two are great, by the way. Thank you. That's so
So.
nice. Yeah.
0.05 lead.
Right.
And I
We
just got a
love pencil lead.
0.07 and 0.09
Okay.
to see how I feel about those.
Would love to see. Would love to see
Yeah.
class 26 sewing tutorial live or on Domestika.
Ooh. What?
Love
Okay.
the work you both do. Great team. Thank you.
What do you want to know about sewing
On the machine.
on the machine?
Yeah.
Because the course we have on Domestika is all hand stitched, but I always like wonder what a good starting point is for people. Because if you're getting an industrial machine, I hope you have some experience with sewing,
On
like
a
having
machine.
an idea of how it works.
Yeah, and it's not really much different than sewing on a regular machine. It's just that it can do the thick material.
Right. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you would like to know about that, because we could definitely make like a longer format video.
I definitely have like little things I do to help me do certain things. So there's probably stuff in there. It's just like hard for me to know.
Is this a heavier bag in its current iteration? I don't feel like this
No.
is super heavy, and that's sorry, I'm pulling your hair off.
It's all right.
And like part of it is the simplicity allows it to be lighter, which is
Yeah.
part
So
of it.
like I thought about adding like other things inside the bag. I'm not sure that that's going to be happening. Again, for the simplicity of it, for it to be not too heavy.
Fancy pencil, it is.
So
See, Lance knows 0.5 lead.
that makes sense that he would. So yeah, the bag, I'm making another version of it right now with a different closure. It's going to be a turn lock. I'm going to grab some pieces so I can kind of show you guys it's not together.
It's in process. She has panels.
I do. So I can show you what that's going to look like. We're still like figuring out exactly what turn lock we want on there, things like that. So this is not necessarily final in any way.
And we're trying to answer a few questions with this prototype, including this one's is two-tone.
It's two-tone and it's milled,
And it's
so
milled.
that it's lined. So in other words, the outside's one color, the inside's another color.
When converting a design from just bridal to milled, there's always adjustments that have to be made.
Yeah, because it's lined
Because it's lined.
with leather. So
Do you ever get requests to monogram a bag? Yeah, we do offer
Yep.
monogramming. We offer gold foil or plain embossed if that's your preference.
yeah, we monogram stuff
yes.
quite often.
We're a little bit behind here. Oh, what did I just do?
Oh, okay.
How did I hit that?
What did you do?
I'm such an old man with technology now.
Okay, here.
Oh,
There you
thank
go.
Sorry.
Good grief.
Have you ever created a duffel bag? We haven't.
No, it's something that I've thought about. It's not necessarily something I'd put in the collection, right? Yeah, it's something I've
We've thought about
messed
like a
around
barrel
with.
bag,
Yeah.
but not necessarily like a duffel weekender,
weekender.
style. Is it possible to keep the first prototype as a non-laptop bag? It's beautiful as a purse. First one. Oh, with the wings. I think whatever comes out of it will be the design.
Yeah.
Like, if that
The
makes sense.
idea is that the wings will still work on here. Let me see if I can.
Yeah.
So I have to make changes to this to make the wings actually work the way I want, but I will
6 to
set
8 ounce
this up.
leather pants collaboration
Oh
when
my
question mark says Daniel. 6 to 8 ounce leather pants. Ugh. Just like,
Okay. I will show you what she looks like with her wings out with this new guy, gusset style.
veg tan?
Oops.
Because that's what I'm imagining. I like the small duffel bag size if you ever created one. Got it.
Like a purse duffel bag?
We're so behind. My take, I don't think you should do a course with basics. I feel like there are videos on YouTube that could get that same info. I think it would be valuable, would be a project-based video. Okay. So like start to finish, a bag start to finish. I think we have just one of those up on YouTube for the Fairmount tote.
This sweater is not helpful in this scenario.
I don't know what she's doing.
I'm just trying to get it with the wings out to show you guys what it will look like.
A picture of what I mean. Okay.
But with this closure, it's like very difficult.
Oh.
And without having the space in there for my hand to go. Okay, I think I got it. All right, so here it is, wings out. So the idea is that you can, with this bag, have it wings in or wings out. That is the whole idea. I actually really love whoever said the idea of potentially just making the wings milled. I think that's a really great potential idea.
I'm not 100% sold on that, but.
And, okay, so I can tell you the reasons why it's difficult for me to do this right now, or to make that happen, is one, because of the closure. This closure, the pieces have to come into each other vertically for it to close. Because this is creating like a triangle, they're coming in at an angle, especially not having not having anything inside the bag for it to push against. It makes it very difficult to close that. And I don't, again, the reason why we're going to be changing the closure, I just don't want this thing potentially busting open on anybody. So with our other bags that we've made with this closure.
I think if we decided to go with that closure, I think there's things we could do to the shape to make it work.
To make it work.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on that.
I know you're not, but I
so
think
like
there is.
this is our mini Maeve, and you can see like that's it's still like slightly angled, but they're coming in like very vertically together, so it just closes a lot easier without like messing around with it.
Did you debate the width of the straps at all? We didn't actually. I like the width.
Yeah, that was something that I think we were both like.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Good on.
I think when you go too wide, it can feel like chunky.
And masculine.
And yeah, maybe more masculine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the strap.
So anyways, right now the closure is like the biggest thing that's holding it back from the wings to easily come out and function. The other thing is on the newest design, I made the lid just a little bit longer just to create more space here because it gets really tight up here when I go to close it. So that's the other part of it. But yeah, this is what she looks like, wings out, the idea being that you should be able to wear it both ways. So yeah.
It's been 38 minutes. We totally failed so far.
Great.
on our timing. Bag construction problems. Yeah, I mean it's always something. Would this ultimately include a crossbody strap as well? Did we talk about that?
You and I?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I planned for it to potentially have one.
Okay. I hadn't.
I haven't figured it out exactly. So right now, at the tips of the wings when they're out, there are 2 D-rings there, so you can clip a strap to it with the wings out. But if the wings are in currentently, you can't put a crossbody strap on it. So that's the one thing I have been thinking about, like if it would make sense, especially once these these are going to move up in the new design, that there could be D-rings maybe on the back, on the outside, here and here.
I don't know how I feel
where
about
you would clip potentially a crossbody. The thing you have to consider though is then what are you doing with your handles when you're wearing it that way? Like, are you just doing it like this and wearing it like that? It is a big bag. It seems a little silly for it to
have a crossbody.
Yeah, but
I can understand wanting a crossbody. I don't know if it's as practical for this design or not.
Right. So
it's a good question.
It is.
It's a great question.
It is something I'm considering. All right, I'm gonna grab some milled pieces. If you want to start, I see there's lots of comments and questions in there.
Today I learned the bag flap is also called a lid.
The bag flap.
That is true.
There's actually not a whole lot I can show you.
Where would you place the crossbody strap? Yeah, we just talked about that.
Yep.
Okay. I just ordered a whole bunch of books, so I got a gift card for Christmas. So I placed a bunch of orders for, I think, about 10 books. Some with painting, some with business, some with other stuff, so I'm excited about that. And I want to thank everybody. I asked, I guess, a prompt, who your favorite artist was, and you guys, quite a few of you answered, and it was really cool to go, do a little research and see who you guys appreciate as artists. A few painters, musicians, actors. That was really cool. This is unrelated to anything, but I feel like I'm now searching outside of my algorithm, so to speak, to try to find other experiences and influences, because I feel like we're kind of fed the thing, and you can kind of just get too narrow in what you're doing and not have the outside influence of other new things, and just trying to find a fresh perspective. So that's one of my 2025 goals, is just to continually look for fresh, new, inspiring ideas outside of my normal.
So I have a bunch of bag pieces. This is not assembled. So outside is olive. The inside is sienna, which is not a color we offer anymore, but we had some, and so I wanted, prototyping, so I'm using another color. But we just love the idea of when we do some of the milled bags, the idea of potentially lining it in anotur color, just to make it fun. I don't know that I would choose this as a colorway, but it's just something.
It actually reads kind of like a burgundy. And
it does read close
olive,
to burgundy, which is nice, yeah. So yeah, you can see even better kind of what that pocket looks like.
Yes.
Yeah. And then closure-wise, can you, yeah. This is not working.
You don't need this again, right?
No, I shouldn't. So this would be the front panel. This lid is not done, so I'm just going to place it on here. But it would be a turn lock like that.
Style.
Yeah. The idea, sorry everyone. The idea being that it would just be easier to close. Yeah. So we're messing around and trying to figure it out.
Messing around. Our new colors planned for 2025. Leanne kind of talked about it, but I don't really want to talk about it. You never know where inspiration, what can inspire your next creation. It's one of the things I love about creativity. Exactly. Yeah, I recently started painting again. I feel like the last time I painted was probably a year ago, but and not extensively. But I feel like getting back into it with a totally different perspective has been really great. I feel like what I've learned isn't quite reflected yet in what I'm able to make. So it's a fun process. Really like the north-south position of the turn lock. Yes, we agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it a backpack? No, it's like a professional bag.
Yeah, I'll go grab the other one again.
Do you want to talk about, I'll talk about this. So, just finished up a milled Maeve crossbody. Was this yesterday? 2 days ago?
No
idea. I don't know. So, we're going to offer this eventually in milled. And the first time it'll be available will be in the red milled. But yeah.
It's just like a really cute cross, but the strap gets much longer.
I like it much more in the milled.
You like what more in the milled? This bag?
Yeah.
Can you hold that?
I think it just has a slight weightiness to it that the bridal one doesn't, that I appreciate. What kind of closure is that? Is this one? Or the turn lock? This one's what do they call this? Button?
Some sort of button thing.
Stud?
It's not a button stud.
It's not a button stud, but... Is all of the milled lined? Yes, so that's one of the differences between milled and the bridal. The milled is fully lined in milled leather as well. So if you're into that, that's our lined option. The bridle is not.
Yep.
We have been changing some of the interior panels to milled, but like not lined.
Yeah,
Give an
like
example.
like this.
Or yeah, like show them me.
So this is the mini Maeve in bridal, but the inside of the lid is milled.
Right. Locks. So yeah, a brand called LOXX Locks does make something similar to that. It's interesting. We've tried like 4 different places for that lock,
Yeah.
and they're all slightly different.
Yeah.
So
some of them don't work very well at all.
some of them don't, and it was quite frustrating actually.
Yes, it was.
But
Yeah. So I do. Yeah, I love the way that
and Locks does
closure
make one,
looks
but I think it's much larger.
bigger. Yeah.
And it's like
Chunkier.
yeah.
So I do love the way that closure looks. I need for that to not ever
Well,
open
on such a
anybody.
large bag.
Especially where
Yeah.
you're assuming, even if you're not putting a laptop in it, you're assuming that you could potentially put a
more.
lot of stuff in there. And so I just can't have that potentially open up on somebody by accident.
Here. Then do you want to talk about these? They're just hanging out there.
I'll let you talk about them because they're your thing. So.
If I were to create my own collection, what quantity would you recommend I make for the first drop? I'd pay for a mentorship, honestly. I mean, that's a broad question. It depends on a lot of things. Like we very much only we were made to order. So someone orders it, we make it. These are like extra, but we use this as like a video format to talk about them. It's not
I
like...
think that they're talking about like how many styles.
Totally different question.
Or I assume that that's the question.
So that's, yeah. I would start, I think 3 is like a really good starting place for... She says 5.
But I also always want to have more in the collection, so...
I always want to have less. So 3 to 5.
Yeah.
And then I would want to hit, like for you, you'd probably want to hit like different, you don't want to have like 5 crossbodies.
Right.
So you'd want to have like
Exactly.
a crossbody, maybe a tote, maybe a handbag, maybe like a hip bag style, maybe a smaller tiny bag, or one extra large bag.
Wallet, yep.
Yeah, it
And
really
it depends on like who you're going after as well, like who your customer is. So for us, like when we started, we had lots of wallets, we had keychains, we had all the small leather
Dog
goods you can
collars,
imagine.
dog leashes, everything that
all those things.
everyone starts with.
And then we had our
Belts.
bags, and our bags killed it, and the small goods were kind of just not selling very well for us.
Yeah.
And that's always been the case. Our Betty wallets do great,
Yeah.
but I would say for the most part,
None of
it's
the
all
other
bags.
ones really took off in that way.
Right.
And like I like the Betty more, so it makes sense.
Yeah. But like if you're going at, let's say you're doing men's bags, you know, men in my mind I'm not a man, but
True.
in my mind tend to buy more small leather goods like keychains and wallets and things of that nature. So that might, if that were your customer, you might want more of those in your
And that doesn't mean you can't create those things. And like if you make a design you really love, you can always like put it out there and see if it sells. I mean, if it sells is really what you're trying to figure out. Yeah. Or you could bring them around for like just the holiday season because small goods tend to sell better then for a lot of people, not for us. So, when are you expecting production on the professional bag? Sorry if I missed that. Yeah,
we didn't
we're
really talk
hoping
about
to
it
get
too much.
this pre-order launched at the end of January. That's coming up fast. And then Red Milled is like right there, I think on the 3rd of February is when that begins. So it's like...
It's tight. And we got still things to figure out, so
Yeah.
once we get some more leather in the door, I think we'll get it done quick.
Yeah, just place that order. So, how much attention do you pay to ongoing accessory trends? That is a fantastic question.
I'm always looking at that stuff.
And I am not.
Yeah. I'm always looking at that stuff. It's always on my mind. So, can we read it again?
How much attention are you paying to ongoing accessory
Okay,
trends?
so general accessory. Okay. Yeah, I do always look at it. I think it's good to know. I think for us, I want our bags to always look like us. So that's always about structure and shape for me. But there are like bigger overarching trends that I will apply to what we do, meaning like big bags are in style, little bags are in style, red is in style, like whatever. Like red was a big thing, still kind of is. You know, there's color that's always going to be important, and then scale and size. But I would say I'm always looking at it and trying to understand it and see if it makes sense for us to do it. But I'm not going to necessarily do it just because I see it. Does that make sense?
So for example, say fluorescent green is like really popular in the
Right.
world, but it
We're
just
not
doesn't
gonna do
really
that.
fit us, so we're
Right.
not going to do it.
Yeah.
Even if it's a huge trend. It's,
And like I know our customer too, so I know or what I expect that they would actually want from us. So
which is important to understand.
I have like 5
Does
bags
the wing bag have a name yet? No. So we're
No.
trying to figure out if it's like an extension of the Maves
Right.
or if it's its own thing.
like, is it a Mave shoulder bag or is
Mave
it
Pro.
a Mave Pro
I don't know.
2.0? I don't know. Yeah, or does it get its own name entirely? That's hilarious.
I try to pay attention to what people are carrying and using when I'm out. What
Same.
people use around you can show what they prefer and want. I agree. I think generally people think they want something more utilitarian than they actually do.
I agree with you.
I think they want the idea. So pockets is a great example.
Yes.
People always say
zippers.
they want 1,000 pockets and zippers.
Yeah.
But I don't think they do. I think they like the option. I think so. Taking that and saying, well, what does the pocket and zipper person want? They want something that's like they can transport. So maybe they want a small bag that's easy to find everything. So like like translate that to something else.
Right. Just as a for instance,
makes sense.
with the whole pocket zipper thing, like go to the grocery store and like half the women have their bag in their cart with the zipper fully open.
Yeah.
Like if your concern is security and that's why you want a zipper, I don't know if
Your actions are helping you.
right. But I get it. And you still want the security of it. And that is a large reason why many of our bags have zipper closures.
Well, not many.
I mean,
A couple. But they have some of them have the full top
right.
flap.
Yeah. So yeah, it's always, there's a lot to consider.
Always open.
Are you gonna do
Okay,
this?
so with the mini Luna going away, my brain was like, well, how would we design the mini Luna again currently? And that's where I started. So, and I got to create a new type of handle, which really excited me. So, I prototyped this guy, which in my mind, I also thought we hadn't added to the Bauhaus collection since it started. So I thought it might make sense to kind of revisit that too. So it was like a double whammy sort of. So one of the things we were trying to figure out with this was the closure, and I did do a magnetic closure on the top, but I realized that it's not super easy to do. So I put 2 magnets in there with a flap, and
You and the sound effects are
I know, it's
really...
it's my life. That's what I do. I don't know if you know this, but your son does the same thing.
Of course he does, because he's your son. I don't think I really had much to do with him.
I wanted the idea of security in there. So I think if this does go forward, it'll eventually probably just be a zipper closure.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense.
But it was fun to hand stitch and learn how to do these handles.
Yeah, so we don't have any bags that have, we do have like the roll top handles for like the Maves, but they don't attach the way that those attach.
Yeah, to the actual front panel.
Yeah, so that is the part that's different about them, and I do like that a lot.
Yeah. So this was kind of like a reimagining of, in my mind, of the mini Luna, which was just a little bit different shape, slightly tapered there. No feet, and just like a easy bag. So Leanne decided, she was looking at it, she's like, I don't know if I really like it as the Bauhaus. And I was like, okay. So I wanted to figure out another idea for the closure, and then made it also in solid. So there's a front pocket on the front, like that. Same shape.
And the idea is that it would have a crossbody strap.
Yes.
That's what those rivets are. There's 2 D-rings on the inside.
same type of handle, and then I tried a single magnet closure on the top, like that. So if we were going to go with a magnet closure on this, I would probably end up doing like a bar magnet across the top, that way, instead of the circle magnets. And I also added a pocket on the inside. So that's that.
Yeah, so we're still contemplating if
Yeah.
we're going to be putting this into collection or not. And like Nick said, if we decide to go forward with it, we would probably do a zipper closure and have them make that. But otherwise,
I really like the handle. The handle feels
the
really
handle
good.
is really nice.
So if nothing else comes out of it but like the handle, I think that's
Still a win.
that's a win, and that's
Yeah.
how it works.
Yeah, agreed.
Let's see here.
Because I do like with this closure how it keeps this shape
Yes.
really nicely.
Well, that was one of the things, and I also wanted I like the Mini Luna, but I think having a slightly wider base would just allow for a little more
Yeah.
more stuff in there.
Yep.
Compliments for the new design and the idea for closing it. Hello from Peru. Gorgeous, really nice. I like the broader base and the front pocket. Okay, so she's leaning towards your solid one. Although this one does have a front pocket too. Nice structure. Yeah, so that was fun.
Yeah, so we're still thinking about that. We'll figure out when and if that's gonna drop. So honestly, I think you have something with a double magnet closure. I've not seen that a lot. Yeah, it's just a little.
It's a little cumbersome and difficult to like get it in. So if we figured out, maybe made the panel just a little bit smaller so the crossbody straps could come up, and maybe place the magnet in a different, or maybe those are the two bar magnets. I don't know. We'd have to really think about that.
We'd have to play with it more.
Obviously I like the idea because we started there.
Right. Yeah.
And one of our goals in the near future is to go just like bag searching.
Yeah, that was.
Bag hunting.
Well, just going to do market research basically, and it's always helpful. Again, I'm not necessarily looking at the trends or anything like that. A lot of times it's nice to see the details. That's
really what we look at.
Yeah, I'd say that's more of what we're looking at, like stitch size, like how does this closure work? Like
that's different hardware.
How
this
many feet
has
are on
feet
this
the
big of a
bottom,
bag? You know, that sort of thing. There's lots of detail stuff that going out in the world. Like we have one of the, I guess, biggest malls in the U.S. is like 40 minutes from us.
Yeah, King of Prussia.
And they have like they have Hermes and all the fancy bags that you can imagine. So hopefully soon we'll be going out for some market research and getting ourselves out of the studio for a little bit for some of that. So we'll be able to figure out a different closure or a way to do that closure after that trip.
Let's see. You need a small knob to move the flap with the double magnets. Hadn't thought of that.
Do people often compare your products to
Vintage Coach. Sometimes. I think, so Coach does, I'm losing, what's the word?
Turn lock?
No, they do turn lock, but they do, not piping.
Yeah, piping.
Is that what it is on the outside?
Yeah.
Okay. They do piping on almost all of their designs.
I guess it's not piping. What
No,
is
it's
it?
not piping. It's
Because piping would be coming out
Yeah.
between the two pieces. It's wrapped around it. I think you might still call that piping though.
I don't think it is. Anyway, they do that on almost all of their designs, which is a pretty big distinction. Got a bounce. Love you both. Or thank you both. Always learn. Always learn so much from these lives. Great work. Start my day with coffee before work. Thanks for joining us. Welting. No, it's not welting. Oh, it's gonna bug me. Anyway, it's basically you fold a piece of leather on the outside and stitch it instead of doing any kind of painted edges.
Right.
Binding.
Binding.
Thank you, Daniel.
That's
I
it.
knew someone would help us
Yep.
out.
I'm like, if there's a name for even the thing that does it for you, binding.
Binder.
Yep.
Which is like a cool little contraption that does that on your machine.
Yeah, we actually do
Anyhow.
have one of those. But yeah, so that is a distinction between the two of us. I don't know. We maybe have had.
there's people we know that love Coach that buy from us.
Yes.
I don't know if they've necessarily like made that association.
Yeah. And I've always loved Coach generally. I mean, they're an American brand. And like their story, I think, is super inspiring. And they've, I mean, always had very nice shapes and like clean aesthetics. So I could see that comparison for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, our long-term goal is like super small, like micro production in our home state.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone into a shop and took measurements where you might get kicked out? I don't think that we have.
Not measurements. Also, if you really want measurements, most websites will have that listed, so you don't really have to go in there and start measuring stuff. No, I've never.
If you want to get kicked out, you probably could do that.
Yeah.
That's like when you're at the museum and you get too close to the painting and the guy comes over and goes,
"Which one of you designs?" So mostly I do. That bag you just saw is the second one that Nick has done.
Yeah,
Nick designed this bag.
And I wouldn't say I design as much as I tweak ideas that she comes up with in the past.
Yeah, so like this bag, do we have a big one? Oh, there she is. This was the first, so this is our large Maeve. This is the Maeve. So he took this lid design and the way that we make like our Greta bag and made this bag. So he's, and plus like, so Nick is more looking at like the sales and what's kind of going on in that world. So he, and like obviously our crossbodies, this is also a crossbody bag, but yeah, so anyways.
I come at design from a totally different world than the way she does.
Yeah, that's
what she's trying to say. Is the dream to have a brick and mortar location?
Yes.
If we had a facility that we had like we trained artisans in, we would likely have like a little tiny brick and mortar.
Yeah.
Because one of the we're gonna finish this up, but
yeah, it's getting really late and I have so much work to do.
We just sent out the survey, and one of the questions or one of the responses is always like, I want to be able to like see and feel and touch your stuff.
Right.
And that's just not possible right now. But can't stay and play today. Got to bounce. Just wanted to send you all the good juju. Thank you. All right. I think that's it.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Yes, make a retail store soon so I have an excuse to visit. We'll expect to see you there, Daniel.
Yeah, you better be there on opening day then.
Thanks for joining us. We went through a ton of stuff.
We did.
We're not going to even recap it right now because that's a lot. We'll
but if you're just joining us, you can go back and watch it because we'll post it to our grid. And like Nick said, we went over a bunch of stuff, including new designs that are coming and colors and things. So make sure you go back and watch that.
Right. See you next week.
See you next week. We got lots
Maybe.
to do.
Thank you all.
Bye.